Peace and love, everybody. It's the Godfather. Welcome to Arroz and Oxtails. What's up, Q? How you doing?
Doing good, man. What's up, Godfather? God bless. I'm having here to be here today on this rainy Saturday in New York City. How's the weather looking like for you?
Uh, I don't even want to tell you.
Oh yeah, it's probably like 90 degrees, sunny out.
it's
Girl topless over there. No, I was
it's,
joking.
it, it's it's beautiful out here today. It's a brisk 80 degrees in Southern California right now.
That's that's wonderful, wonderful.
you
Gotta take
know,
a trip
it's
over there one day.
I just I don't remember this growing up. I was in uh, when I was in Jersey. By this time, it was rainy and nasty out all the time. But when I moved down to North Carolina, it was just a little bit. It was just a little bit better, like and a little bit, very little bit. It was still muddy. It was still chilly. It was. So yeah, I'm out here. My kids are mad at me because I made them wear jeans instead of shorts today. Like for real.
It is what it is. I mean, fathers know best.
That's it. That's it. You know.
So what do you think about the Wilder and Tyson Fury 3? What was your intake?
Oh man. Well, I tell you what. Like it was like about 3 weeks ago, right? Like, I'm gonna tell you what. Like leading up to the fight, like no joking. I wanted Fury. I wanted Wilder to get his ass kicked because for a good year, all he was all that he was doing and all that his handlers were enabling him to do was come up with excuses for why he lost that fight. Oh, the gloves were messed with. You know, somebody from the crowd was yelling out and influenced my trainer to throw in the towel. My trainer poisoned me. Uh, Tyson Fury tried to put a curse on me. Like it was just nonsense. It was, you know, stuff like that gets me mad. Like I don't like hearing stuff like that because it sounds silly, and it takes away from the fighters uh, from his accomplishment. You know what I mean? Instead of just giving props and saying, "Hey, let's run it back," you know. So like watching that fight, I was like, man, I hope this guy gets work, you know. But I got to give him credit where credit's due. He fought like a madman. He said he wanted to be sent out on his shield, and that's what he did. You know what I mean? Like for all of his lack of skill, the brother has heart. You know what I mean? And for a little while there in that fourth round, I was like, oh man, he might knock him out. What did you think?
I mean, I didn't believe the shenanigans. I didn't believe the glove theory. I based my opinion on my thought process on the first two fights,
Mhm.
especially on the second fight. Um, I I'm neither a fan of either one, but I love boxing. So I said if I was a smart man and I was a betting man, I'll pick Tyson Fury to win. But if I was a gambler, I'll pick Wilder. And I actually knew somebody who lost $3,000 on Wilder, and I told him, bro, don't do it. Do not. I'm telling you, oh, the glove theory, he's gonna switch it up. I said, listen, I respect your opinion. I mean, you know, if they were since they fought three times, if the first three fights were competitive like Marquez Pacquiao, then I could understand why would you put your money on Wilder because Marquez Pacquiao was back and forth all three fights. They were both in close fights in all three fights until they settled it on the fourth fight. That wasn't something like I saw here. The first fight, Wilder got outclassed, but ended up getting a draw somehow, which I thought Fury won with the two
Mhm.
knockdowns. The second fight, Tyson Fury came forward and knocked this shit in. You saw what happened. We all know what happened. He knocked him out, I think, the fifth, sixth round, something like that.
I
and
think it was the 7th round. Yeah.
it was a lot of knockdowns, and he was got slaughtered. He just got
Uh-huh.
smoked. They rolled him up like a blunt and just smoked him. Um, in the third fight, I just felt like, okay, Wilder can punch, but what else he got?
Right.
But how much better can he get with this short period of time to learn actual boxing skills
Mm.
to put his fight? I didn't see him winning, and I just didn't see him winning. And but with that being said, I was, the knockdowns, I was kind of shocked. Okay, he knocked him down. I was like, wow, you know, I didn't think he was gonna knock him down because of the second fight where he got blown out. But he was able to knock him down twice in one round, right? That was his chance to win. If he was
Mm-hmm.
gonna win that fight, it was gonna be in that round.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it was tough. It was a rough night for Wilder. But hey, I give him the most respect that he gave us a good fight. It was, I was entertained. The knockdowns made it, Wilder knocking Fury down made it more exciting.
Right.
But as in Tyson Fury said, I'm not going to lose. And
Mm-hmm.
that mentality, Tyson's mental strength it's very, very high. He's
Right.
very mentally ready.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for Wilder is like he should not fight. Should not fight.
You froze there.
A good puncher, very good puncher.
Mm.
I don't like the comparison when they say, oh, he's better than Mike Tyson. You're not. You're nowhere near Mike Tyson's caliber
No.
of skill. No,
Mm-hmm.
but you can punch. You can punch. Yeah, I give him that much. You can punch.
Mm-hmm.
But when people say they compare him to Mike Tyson, like he has a good knockout ratio to the guys he fought, and I don't discredit his achievements, but you're not Mike. You're not.
No, you're not.
Skill wise, you're not. No.
Mm-mm. No, he had, and he started out. I'll say this: he started out good in that first round, but you knew that the second that he got hit, it was going to change the fight. You know that like that because that's you can go out and try to test all your skills initially and stuff. What are you going to do when somebody has you in danger? Like you're going to go back to what's instinctual to you, and that's what he did because he had only been learning to work behind the jab for maybe that year. And as soon as Wilder got tired, he, you know, went back to being Deontay Wilder and just trying to land that big one, you know. And unfortunately, you know, unfortunately for him anyway, he took another ass whipping because of that. He took a worse one. After those two knockdowns, I think he took a worse beating than he did in the second fight because, Fury was putting his weight on him more. He was catching him with more combinations. It was just, like I laugh at the people that say, oh, Wilder is better than Tyson. That's ridiculous. You know, Tyson had skills and he was fighting in a different era where most of those heavyweights were dangerous. Like most of them weren't just coming out of being football players and decided they were going to
They
try.
had talent. They had
Yeah, they
talent.
had talent. Like Tony Tucker had talent. Bone Crusher Smith had talent. You know what I mean?
Razor Ruddock.
His brother had talent. You know what I mean? It was just that was it. Wilder wasn't fighting those classes of fighters. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson knocked out Larry Holmes, who's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? And he knocked him out cold. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Like people are gonna say what they're gonna say, trying to hype people up in this age of the internet. You know, everybody's got a voice, and sometimes when everyone has a voice, some stuff doesn't need to be heard. You know what I mean? And we don't have the capability to sift through it now because of the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just feel like since the internet is a big powerful tool, everybody wants to be heard and everybody wants to be have an opinion. And your opinion may not be, it's your opinion, but it may not be right. You have the right to say what you want, but that doesn't mean everybody should agree with what you say. You understand? So I could say however I want to say, or however I could say it, but doesn't mean I'm correct. And that's what's happening here. Everybody has a voice, but doesn't mean everybody's voice and opinion is actually like knowledgeable of what they're saying. You know, sometimes people say things out of anger, sometimes they trolling, sometimes they just like want to be noticed. You know, I say when somebody argues a point, give me facts. You can say what you feel, but give me facts. And if your facts doesn't match up what you're saying, then that's your opinion. But it doesn't really mean it's actually true. We're talking about just boxing in general.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You know, but hey, you know what can you do? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, everybody is gonna feel how they feel. You know, you can't change that. You know what I mean? All we can
There we
do,
go.
all we can do is all we can do is try and make them understand the facts and what happened in the fight, as opposed to, you know, making shit up. Like, you know, like at some point, that's got to stop. You know what I mean? Like at some point, you have to accept the facts of a situation rather than, you know, using your imagination to try and build every single concept that might have happened or whatever in your mind, as opposed to whatever, you know, whatever you don't want to accept as a fight fan. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah. But listen, listeners, we have a treat for y'all today. You know, straight out of Greensboro, North Carolina, we have my brother. You know what I mean? This man has made 17 albums. His music has been on The Shield and the Boondocks.
Wow.
Man,
Great. That's a great accolades.
serious. You know, this man has done it all. Like, you know, he's hosted many showcases in Greensboro. You know, he's established relationships with a ton of rappers out there, whether they be mainstream or underground. He's an avid hip hop fan. He is a clothing line designer. He has made intro music for wrestlers. You know,
What more can we say about this? Guys, it seems like the total
I don't.
package, right?
I'm not gonna say I can go on forever. We gotta say peace and love to my man Eddie Ruger. How you doing today, Eddie?
He's muted. Unmute him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There we go. Look, I'm good, man. You can say whatever you want to. You've been supporting me since my name was E-Dot. You've been watching
that's it.
like since it was me and Motown back to back on people.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate all the kind words, man. It means a lot for y'all having me up here too, man.
Absolutely, man.
And I like your shirt. Your shirt's dope.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had to.
Hey, Grind clothing line. Gotta plug it.
Nah, go to grind. Go to grind. Let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give him his flowers because you know people like that. You know, you gotta give them respect as due when they put that work in. It is what it is. You know, you gotta put that work in this game. And nothing works without putting that effort in.
I appreciate that, man, for real, because it doesn't come from as many people around as you would think it would, as far as like help building the platform and everything. So it's rough sometimes.
Hey,
No, it's not easy. It's not easy doing what you're doing. And you know, I meet some people that so-called I'm doing this and I'm doing nothing, and they just have a song on SoundCloud. I'm like, that's what you're doing?
Well, there's a lot
Is
of
that
people like that now that actually cut off avenues of their own promotion just to release stuff on SoundCloud. Like they will cut off their own paid promotion to release something on SoundCloud, and then show up at a show with zero merch, zero CD, not even CDs, but like not even a Sharpie to write on a piece of paper, a download or a site or business cards, like the simplest thing. They just want to tell you their SoundCloud. And I can tell you from people like my wife who don't do too much with music, I used to release stuff on SoundCloud. It makes you download the app before you can even get to it. So you're cutting yourself off from all kinds of people who aren't going to download the app. And that's
Right.
a simple mistake that people make. But it can go a lot deeper than that, because SoundCloud actually does, I believe, pay now as far as like a streaming service. I'm not sure how it works because I'm not on there
Right.
too much these days. But they do, if I'm not mistaken, they have monetized. I just don't know if you got to get a certain like a certain level with them, or what. I don't know how.
Threshold. Probably a certain threshold where
Yeah,
they do the paperwork and they be like, "Do you even own the
I'm glad
record?
they
Can we
started
pay you
doing that,
legally?"
because
You
that
know.
SoundCloud, my issue with SoundCloud is they have gotten really, really big. They're a great platform for artists. First of all, it's a great platform, but they made so much money off of artists like Juice World, artists like X, artists like all these people, but they never profited. Not the artist. I'm talking about SoundCloud. SoundCloud as a
Right.
platform never broke even. I don't even know if they are now. So it's just weird. Like, I'm glad they finally started monetizing people, but they should have started that years ago when they could have benefited from it themselves. Because
Right. In the beginning. In the
if
beginning.
not billions of views, or like streams and stuff like that. So it's crazy, man. And I try to tell the artists around here a lot that I work with. It doesn't matter if you have 50 fans. It doesn't matter if you have 50,000. You have to give them what they want. That's the only way to monetize your brand and yourself, is to give them what they want. If it's 100 people and 100 people ask for something different than the mainstream, and that's your crowd, you still got to give those 100 people what they want, because those are the ones that are supporting you and paying you.
Right.
Correct.
Those million don't even know who you are. So you got to narrow it down, and putting yourself where it's just on SoundCloud, that ain't gonna do it, man. But man, you imagine how hard it is trying to get some of these 19, 20-year-old rappers to listen now.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't listen to nothing.
Brother, I
did it
got
when I
19 and 20-year-old troops.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
19.
I know you got it.
Oh, it's bad. That's why I'm bald.
Dude, man, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about you and the troop. Oh my Lord. So yeah, you and these young troops, I can only imagine. So yeah.
It's crazy. But
And you got a small walk to life. Like,
that's a whole nother conversation, brother. Like we need some beers in front of us.
yeah.
Stressed out.
I feel you. We need to have that combo though. I come back, we'll have that one.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, listen, Ruger, please just tell everybody out there, just give them a brief breakdown of who you are, you know what I mean, and how long you've been doing this, and just how you came up with the name Eddie Ruger from James Ray Armfield.
it's actually a pretty easy story, and because you actually said the name, like my name, I can actually give you the real story. A lot of people don't do that. So if you look at all my interviews, it's a different story every time when you ask about my name, because it's so simple that I was like, they don't care. I'm on the radio. My lyrics are like bullets. That's why. They ain't had nothing to do with that. So as you said, like, my name is Ray Armfield. That's my name. So when it came from that, my stepdad was Eddie Hoover, and he was a big influence on my life. So I ended up naming myself Eddie Ruger, because I didn't want to name myself Eddie Hoover after him, because I just didn't want to put him in that position. Like, I was a battle rapper. I didn't want to just throw him out there and do research on my stepdad, and y'all just start battling him instead of me. So that's basically what that was. But
So you battle rap before.
it was also what made it more official is another reason I could tell you the real like background to it is because you've known me so long. So EDOT was actually trademarked in Canada by a rapper named EDOT from Uncle Howie Records with Necro and all those guys. I ain't gonna tell you what happened behind all that, but I ended up going with Eddie Ruger and keeping E Dot because E Dot's always in the middle of something. So we went Ed E Dot Ruger, which is why I said it like that, because some things happened behind the scene. He stopped rapping. He came to Greensboro. I did his concert. Okay. So that's all.
That's it. Yeah. Say no more.
Like he started producing instead of rapping, and I let him keep the name. I did the concert. We had a talk, and I changed it to Eddie Ruger, but kept E Dot in it so that me and him could both go our separate ways, but still use that. And we had the agreement that he was not going to try to make the same moves that he was just trying to make.
Okay.
So, but then it got to a point where JJ, you remember JJ too. JJ was working with Gore-Tex and Ill Bill and those guys.
All right.
So that's how the conversation happened. It wasn't anything. I don't want to act like it was violence or like anything like that. It was a real man-to-man conversation about business, and it was with some people that he didn't realize that I knew that he knew as well. So it wasn't just a local dude named E Dot trying to take his name. Like I got my name. Like E Dot was given to me through Schiff and M and all those guys. So that was a name that came from being the Riddler, like E Dot nigga. So that just moved up from there. So he knew that it wasn't, it wasn't me trying to take his name, but he also knew that he wasn't gonna come here and try to take my name.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's not gonna work either. So it goes both ways. Now there's a common respect. I'm just gonna keep it at that, so I don't have to get too much into that part. But so we went from there, and Eddie Ruger just became more marketable because then you started seeing people like B Dot on 102. All respect to B Dot, he's awesome. I'm not even saying he got his name from me, whatever. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody who has an initial in their name can be whatever Dot. So I had to make it something more branded, more marketable. Eddie Ruger, that's not spelled like the normal Eddie, is something you can Google, and I'm the only one that's gonna come up. So I mean, it went through a lot to get this name, as you can tell, man. But it was years and years, and it's a name that now it means so much. It's not even synonymous with hip hop. Like my brand is now, I'm now a person in the community helping with food drives and stuff. I'm now on the college radios helping these guys. I'm doing all kind of different stuff, and it's just it's bigger now. So it's funny that I made a name that was supposed to be more of a battle rapper, and now it's like I'm an upstanding citizen. It's weird, but that's how it works.
Evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I've been doing it for since professionally. I've been doing it since about 2001, 2002. But I've been rapping as long as I can remember. I remember my first one being at 12 or 13. My mom said that I was writing poems when I was like 8 or 9. So I don't remember that, but she says she has them. She ain't proved it yet. But she said she has them.
Mom, don't show nobody those poems.
But, she's got a whole box, her and my sister both, of it says blackmail for when Ray gets famous. And that was when I was younger. And man, I'm sitting here like, I look through these pictures and I'm like, y'all hate me. It's terrible. But nah, they're two of my biggest supporters, man. Like
that's what's up.
But I got a question for you.
Sure.
How do you start with your own showcase? Like, how did that become about? How did you get that to work?
Well, we started booking our own shows. Now, all right, I do want to not necessarily correct you, but I want to reword something though. We don't like to do open mics or showcases. We like to do concerts. Like that's what we like to do. We pay the performers, they don't pay us. And we book people who are established somewhat in the area. We do have every once in a while a couple of guys that just have stuff on SoundCloud, but not many at all. Like it's literally people who are taking themselves serious and have merch to show up to the show at and stuff like that. But the way we got started is nobody would book us because our music is a little obnoxious. I'll say that. But and we have never filtered ourselves or strayed away from anything that we wanted to do or say. Which is where the name Iconoclast comes from, by the way. It's destroyer of icons. So we are basically everything that's opposite of what you thought hip hop should be, like when we started off and now. So we do what we want to do. Like we make music that we want to make. So nobody would book us because we were the crazy white dudes. Like that's what dude, Chris is hurting. Look at him smiling. He's hurting himself. Motown had to tell people so often that I was not insane. I was fine. Just let him go ahead.
Just let him do it.
But it was, yeah. But so nobody would book us because we legit came with a crowd of like people that wanted to get crazy, not crazy in like a fuck up the club type way, but a crazy way. Like we want to party, we want to mosh, we want to have a good time, we want to scream, jump up and down, yell the words. That's what we want to do. That's another reason the pandemic has kind of messed me up with shows, because I don't like people sitting down when I'm saying. It's
a hip hop show, man.
Exactly.
You gotta get live.
It's weird, man. But so we started booking our own shows with my first album release. I believe it was me right after Trey died. Me and Trey booked a couple of shows. Actually, more than a couple. Trey booked a lot of shows for us. And then my first show, I believe, was right after, I think it was my first album, right after Selinsky brought me on Blind Tiger's set a couple of times, and we tried to get our own and they wouldn't give us our own, so we just went and did our own thing. And our first 2 shows sold out. Like it was crazy. Now we had some after that were terrible, but the first 2 sold out. So we knew we could do something. We had to rearrange it because that first little buzz ain't gonna last, but so long. But that's how we started mainly, man, because nobody would give us a shot. So we took our own shot. And then once we established ourselves, we figured, it's time to give back and make a platform for the guys like us that nobody ever gave a shot to. So we built a scene here. And we built a scene. They had a scene here before, definitely before us, but we took a huge branch off of that tree and expanded. And we made it crazy. Like we definitely took it to the next level. And I will never take anything away from anybody that did anything around here before me, but you cannot say anything about North Carolina hip hop without putting a stamp on my name with it. Like that's
what's up.
And that's not just as a rapper, that's as a promoter, that's as a booking agent, that's as a clothing line now. I keep doing it. So it's one of them things where I let people say it for me most of the time. This is one of the only, like you asked about it. So, I mean, that's one of the only times I say it myself. But I let other people, like I let my actions and other people's opinions speak for me most of the time. And that's what's gotten me where I'm at, is the integrity and me not being willing to bend really at all on that. And we've gotten a long way with venues like that. We've gotten a long way on tours and being able to bring national artists in like that, because I'm an artist first, and I'm always going to be an artist first. So I do not let these promoters and these venues or DJs or whoever might be, behind the scenes trying to pull strings. Not my DJ, Philly's the man, but we just don't let anybody push us around, I guess. We do exactly what we want to do. We do exactly what we say we're going to do. And we've been like that for 20 years. And some people hate it. Some people love it. It is what it is.
Right.
But my thing is, like, once you start bending on what you believe and like what your brand is supposed to be and your integrity, then people are going to start trying to form it and bend it the way they want it to go.
Right.
I'm not willing to let
you gotta put your foot down. You gotta put your foot down and say, listen, I'm gonna do this way.
Man, I wish we had Philly on here, man. He could tell you some of the biggest shows I pulled the plug on. We were just talking about this earlier with my brother. Money is great, and I definitely do a lot of this for the money. I'm not gonna be one of these people that's like, y'all do it for the love. I do it for both. I love it because it makes me money and I enjoy it. I love it because it's hip hop and I enjoy it. I'm allowed to enjoy rap and money.
That's right.
That's right.
You gotta make the money.
Exactly.
You got a wife and 2 kids. You gotta make
exactly, man. And my thing about it is, we have literally pulled the plug because I don't like how certain venues are speaking to me or my artist or the people that are there, or the national artists themselves. If they come in trying to disrespect the local artists and things like that, they ain't got to get their back half.
No.
So it's like it's definitely, we've had some fun. We've had some fun and wild stories dealing with bigger names who think they're bigger than they are here.
Right.
So we've had to remind people a lot of times, and I've said this a lot. All these guys might be bigger across the world. Y'all not bigger here.
No,
I promise
Right.
you coming to
Right.
my city, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like it's like as a business, now I ain't one of them dudes that's like, you got to check in. I ain't gangster. I ain't none of that, man. I'm a businessman. But you're gonna hear my name if you're doing shows around here, and you more than likely don't have to get the okay. Because all the promoters call me and like, yo, it's a rap concert. Who's this dude? Is he gonna draw a crowd? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that?
Right.
Yes or no? Like that's, I mean, it's business.
Absolutely.
But that comes with the integrity too, because they wouldn't call me if I was gonna be biased and lie to somebody. Like I may not even like the dude that's calling, but I'm gonna tell them, yeah, I don't want to open, but this dude will pull y'all crowd. So I mean, I'm not gonna put them out of the way of making money, or that artist for that instance out of the way of making money. But you're not gonna get my name and my promotion and all that behind.
Right.
So I'll do what y'all gonna do, but I ain't in it this time. So, but we've definitely pulled out on a couple of things. We've pulled out of concerts because of some things that were said. Can't remember the guy's name. Matter of fact, I do remember his name now, but I ain't even gonna put it out there. He's a bigger artist that came to Greensboro that had, because I don't want this dude to have no shine for this. He had one of these, I think they're calling it hick hops, like the country rap guys. And he had just been on TMZ for dropping the M-bomb and saying he should be able to because of something. And he made it this real politically like correct song that white people should be. It was nuts, dude. But I wasn't even on the show, but I had people I had booked on the show. They're calling me, I'm calling them. Man, we had to pull out of the show immediately. Like we all dropped off of that show. And then the club ended up having to give like all kinds of statements, and they were in a contract. And that's a lot of things people don't understand. The club can't cancel the show like that. Right. Like they signed the contract. We can pull out of it because of that, but they signed a contract. You can't pull out of that. Like there's money behind it. Like at this point, you should have done your research before, but you're in a contract now. So they got mad at the club. Club had to make all kinds of statements. I had to explain it the first time a Rebel Flag came on stage, I was shutting it down myself if I was there. And like, I don't play like that. And like, not even from a standpoint of music. I just don't play like that as a human. And neither do my people. And I tried to explain, I said, so what if I tell them, what if I don't do it? You think you stopping them?
Right.
Like that ain't my crowd. Like, so
not at all.
But they honestly did not realize that they were getting into that situation. Because honestly, the reason we were on the bill is because we had toured with a group called Rehab. Rehab is phenomenal. Like Rehab is a great group. When they retired, one of their members, there's only two rappers, but one of their members, like the hype man or something, I can't remember, went on to do his own thing. And it was an opener on his tour that was doing all this. So doing all this is what made him famous. He was nobody before all this. So now he's trying to use it, not the Rehab dude, but the opener dude. He's trying to, he's up there with everybody now, with Upchurch and all them dudes. Like he's up there with all them. But he also used to roll with Jelly Roll, but Jelly Roll don't rock with him anymore either. So I mean, there's certain people in that genre, like Yellow Wolf and all those dudes, that are like, nah, we don't play like that. And Yellow Wolf had his own controversy too. Yellow Wolf, not himself, but his manager has gotten the bad end.
Got him some bad attention. That's just, man. That's a whole nother story. you know.
Just don't know when to shut up, man. That's his problem.
That's it. Now I gotta say this, and that was the big thing. That when Motown, Motown, you said that's Dompy.
Yeah, right. Man.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's my brother, man.
Yes, sir. And like, when we met up, you know what I mean? One thing that I always respected about Ruger is that he moved as a man of integrity, for sure.
Absolutely.
If he's gonna tell you, he's gonna say what he's got to say. He's not gonna soften it up. He's not gonna Yeah, he's not going to take it and make it about your feelings or nothing like that. He's going to tell
Give
you
you
the
the raw
truth.
deal. He's gonna give you
know.
the truth.
No, it's gotten
Yes,
me in
sir.
some situations, man. Even Mad Assassin and Apostle and Seven and everybody else has had to pull me out of things like, yo, you gotta watch your mouth. They don't know you like we know you.
Mhm.
So when I had to grow up and mature a little bit and learn when to say something and when not to say, but when I say it, I'm still gonna say what I want.
That's
Like,
it.
it's just,
Right.
but everybody don't care to hear what I got to say. So
What can you do?
I don't know if y'all heard from the peanut gallery, but my wife was like, that's true.
Tell her I said hello. You know,
Hey, Chris said hello. She
Lee.
said hello. She said hi. What she
Mhm.
said. But
Yeah.
now that woman has been with me through all this too. So
Absolutely. I was reading one of your interviews, and she told you straight up. That's another person that I know for a fact that is going to give it to you straight. You know what I mean? No matter what. You know what I mean? And you were telling them about how she told you either you go focus, or if you're gonna focus on your music, focus on your music
yeah.
and nothing else. You know what I mean? Like,
That was actually around the same time as the E-Dot story. So that's like when that was one of those shows I was giving the CDs because she printed up a ton of CDs for me, and I came home to them, and that's when that conversation happened. And she was like, "You need to take this serious and stop doing everything else." And I was like, we'll see. And I made money off of it, so I stopped doing everything else. Started doing this.
That's it.
It's funny because that whole scenario, she's always the one. I should be saying this quiet so she can't hear it, but she's always the one that makes me realize that I need to grow a little more than I thought. Like I thought all these cool stories were cool until I got to be like 40, and then she's like, "Yeah, you're 40. These stories, you're a businessman. You're not the other dude no more. It ain't cool. It just makes you sound like an idiot. It don't make you sound like, you know." So I gotta learn. She's one who always puts it straight to me though. She ain't scared to call me a moron.
Hey, we need those type of women behind us though. You know
absolutely. I mean? She has been the one that's pushed me to do everything on this. Like even my clothing line and my logos. So because I was bartending during the day before just to get out the house. She's been trying to get me to do this for 5 years.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't want to stay home. I don't want to stay home. I want to go. I want to talk to people. I want to do this.
That's it. Well, thank you, Miss Ruka, because I love my shirt.
Hey, they said thank you for making me work. Oh, she said you're welcome. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it's been way more fun than bartending, but it's a lot more work and it's a lot more ups and downs. But the ups are way up, the downs ain't really way down. So
that's it.
But you're doing what you love. You're doing what you love, so that's the most important part.
And that's why the downs ain't way down, right? That's the exact reason. Because even on the days I don't make a dime, I still get to do what I love. So now, I also get to save money on daycare and all kind of gas and food and everything else I was spending to go see. I didn't realize that bartending is money every day. It just ain't a lot of money every day.
Right.
So, coming from like, money every day, I had to learn to budget myself, and it's weird, man. And I'm not used to having to spend money on my own products. Like I'll get all this money in the bank account and be like, yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, what you mean I got to give you all this money for shirts?
And then you got to re-up. you got to re-up. I just gave you money, but you got to give us some more now.
Exactly. And it just, man, it's that's the part that's no fun, man. Like you have money and you won't have no money. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. But it's different in streaming though, like because everything nowadays, I'm running on. I haven't done the math all the way, but I'm gonna end up over probably 500,000 streams for the whole year for all the platforms combined, and I may get $1,500. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. But you got 500,000 streams though as an independent artist, like you know what I mean. Like you're doing this by yourself, so it's like I look at it as like, you know what, that's great. There's some people who
it absolutely is.
there's some people who do this, who try to do this rap thing, and they don't get nothing. No, they don't even know how to start.
And I would still do it if I had nothing. Like that's where I started from. But my whole point was, if I'm doing it, my whole outlook on being a hustler in general is, if I spend money on it, somebody else will too.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, that's really the only, it's as easy as that. So if people are out here buying albums, why wouldn't they buy mine? And then you got people buying albums for $5. Man, it's gonna take you probably 2,000 streams, 3,000, maybe 5,000 to get. Hold on, it's 0.0015 cent a stream. So I don't know, but $5 is way more than that.
Right. Absolutely.
So the way we've been doing it lately, because you can't ignore the streaming business. You can't. So the way we've been doing it is just releasing albums on Bandcamp for, a couple of months for all the fans to buy that actually, that are actually our fans. And I'm not saying anything bad about the people that don't buy it or anything like that. It's just, we know y'all stream it because y'all support us, and we appreciate that too. But the people that, have been down with us forever and really listen to it and bang it every day, they're going to buy the album. And they're going to buy it because basically they know that if Spotify was to shut down tomorrow, your music library is gone. If you buy it from Bandcamp, you still got it. You don't own a music library nowadays. You are paying a subscription fee to look at somebody else's. So if you download the albums, that is now your, that is your music catalog. So we'll release it for a couple of months and let the people download it that really, really want the album exclusively, add a couple of things in, autographed copies, stickers, things like that. And then for the people who just want to stream it and show other people and just listen on Spotify, they can listen later on, like a couple months down the road. We've got hundreds of other songs already on there, so they can listen to us anyway. They can definitely support us from doing that. But if they want the new stuff first, they got to go to Bandcamp and buy it like that. Like that's how we've been doing it. Because if I sell what I say I was gonna get, like $1,500, that's only 150 albums. Now that's a lot to sell. Don't let anybody act like 150 albums ain't a lot. Because I mean, I can't name 150 people I know off the top of my head. So like you're doing good if you're doing that. But at the same time, you want to get every bit of money that you're worth. If you know your worth and you want to get every bit of that, you got to push for it. Because people aren't going to, like, if you give it to them for free, they're not going to pay for it. There's no reason for them to.
Right.
So let me say that was something that your boy Nipsey, that's what he was on, So
Nipsey was a huge, or it still is, but Nipsey is a huge inspiration on me. Like that dude, I've been on Nip since like before the $100 album and all that. Like that's one of the dudes. I'm a big, you might be able to tell through my music though. I'm a huge West Coast fan. Like West Coast, Texas, and down south is my main thing. Like I love New York and New Jersey hip hop, but down south, Texas and California, that's my stuff. Like that's what I grew up with. So now it's funny I'm saying that. Redman is my #1 rapper of all time. But you start going
that funk sound too though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You go down right below that, and it's gonna be Outkast, even though they're a group. Like that's gonna be it. And then you got Scarface, and you got right now Big Crit. You got there's just lots of people out there that are from that area that are killing it right now. So and they're making really dope music, and it's different. Now California and Detroit got this weird thing now where they're going offbeat and doing like offbeat drill music. That's strange to me, but everybody likes it. They like it.
I can't listen to it,
but I can't. Like I write to the beat so much, like the drums and everything. I can't be off beat if I try. So it's one of the things I'm listening. Like this hurts my brain. Like I don't know what it is, and it ain't even like Silk the Shocker off beat. It's more like Blueface off beat.
Blueface.
A little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a new generation out there. Let me ask you this. We're talking about all these different regions and what have you. The music industry, typically they demand that people leave their area and go somewhere else. You know what I mean? You need to go somewhere else and do your thing. I know people that facing a music career that were in Charlotte that went down to Atlanta to try to get a career going or whatever and stuff. What is it?
You're gonna love my answer.
That you decide, why did you decide to stay in Greensboro? You know what I mean?
First of all, they just want you closer to the money. They want you to be able to put it in their pocket a little faster. That's the only reason they want you to move. I'm not leaving my kids to go down there and listen to you sell me a pipe dream. Are you crazy? Like, all right, so I've turned down 2 record deals and almost a third because of craziness. And they never asked me to leave. Now, I'm sure they would have, like, eventually. But my thing is, all right, if you know anything about marketing, you go into a bigger city, ain't helping you.
Right.
Like, if I'm here in a small city like this, or smaller city like this, because it's gotten decent size nowadays, and we take this over, that's gonna mean way more than going down to New York or going up to New York, down to Atlanta, and taking over a section of it. Like, if you're like, yo, that dude, his city loves him, then what are you gonna say? You never can take that away from me. If I go to Atlanta, all they gonna be, oh yeah, Greensboro loves him.
Yep.
Nah, you can't come here. This is where we do that. And another thing is, I've never seen anybody move and make it personally. Now, it's happened. There are definitely stories of it, but with all the artists I've seen move down there, they end up getting graphic designer jobs, or they end up getting sound man jobs, or they end up getting, which are paying them well. So they're not doing bad, but they're not doing what they want to do.
That's not why they went down there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've also, to be completely real with you, and I knew this was going to be, I knew this was going to be a good interview because you always ask a good question. I have never liked the tour life, like, ever.
Okay.
You can listen to a song of mine called Bright Lights on the GG3P EP. And it talks a lot about that. It's me and Vocal. I love performing. I love shows. I hate traveling. I don't hate traveling as far as vacations. Let's get that clear. I love vacations. We go anywhere. You buy me tea, we going. Like that, whatever. They had to convince me to get on a cruise though. I didn't like cruises at first. I'm learning. But it's just one of them things where I felt like all the years we did it, man, we did it for years and years and years. Battling. Like, dude, it started with battling. I was going to radio stations with Motown all across the Southeast battling their champions. Like, we run up in the radio station and battle their champions right there. Wow. But then we had to go back home. Like, we didn't have no hotels, none of that. So then when I got bigger, we started making it a little more fun. Like, hey, this is our first tour. My wife, was before we had kids, my wife would go and treat it like a vacation. She'd cook for us, everything. While we were doing our stuff, she'd be at the pool. We'd come back, but that started costing more money than we were making. It was fun, but it started costing more money than we were making. So once we started treating it like a business, I realized I get to go to these big cities. I get to stay for, a day, not see anything, do the show, meet the fans, which is amazing. That's the part that I love. I love meeting my fans. I love being able to talk to my fans. I love being able to perform for my fans. And just being on the stage in general. There's not a feeling that's like that in the world. But then I got to get up at 11, just stayed up till 4 in the morning doing this show. Got to get up at, actually not 11, got to get up at like 9 or 10 because we got to be out the room and packed up with all the equipment at 11 and drive back. And the way I was leaving, I was leaving after my kids went to bed most of the time and trying to get back before they got up. So unless I was staying overnight. If I was staying overnight, then, it's different. But if I'm going out of town in North Carolina, I try to make it to where they didn't know I was even gone. Now, it's not like that now. They tell me you woke me up, all kind of crap now. But even if I was out of town, think about it. Say you go to Atlanta, do this dope show, you have the time of your life, and you got to get up and not see a thing in the morning because you got to go to another show in Virginia. Right. And not see anything.
That's a rough drive.
Yeah. And then you're not seeing anything but it's great. I love my fans. I love the shows. But when you're seeing nothing but the road and trees and street lights for nothing, but just hours and hours and hours, and you're not making any money doing it, it's not fun, man. So, again, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was my wife that was doing this. You might have some loud little kids come over here in a minute, just to heads up. But I think she, if I'm not mistaken, she put it all on paper to me. She might just explain it to me, but when you put it in front of me in numbers, and she was like, here's what you're making in the Southeast. Here's what you're making everywhere else. It was evident that we didn't need to go anywhere but the Southeast to make this money. And not even to make a lot of money, but to break even. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got to start breaking even or I can't tour. So that's basically what happened with that, is I just started hating touring, man. It was just too much to it. I didn't like showing up to venues that promised things that weren't run like the venues I run. I didn't like having to worry about police and how they act in different states. I didn't like worrying. I mean, it was just stress. And then when I stayed home and started doing like within 3 or 4 hours of my house, to where, like I said, I could get home before where the kids didn't even know I was gone. That helped me out. My wife didn't have to worry about me where I was staying. Like, there's certain times that she made me, like in Fayetteville, she made me come home.
She's like, listen, you gotta get the ass on now.
Dude, there were 3 shootings on Fayetteville, on Bragg Boulevard, the night of our show, up the street from where we were staying. And she was like, look, I love you, but you got to come home. She's like, I got to take turns driving. I don't care. So we came home. And there was another shooting right after that.
Wow.
My mom said, you said y'all familiar with Fayetteville?
Very.
Yeah.
Very. I lived there for 5 years.
Oh, my mom used to run Hope Harbor.
Okay.
She used to, it was a thrift store that was a rehab center that housed all the guys that they were helping and gave them jobs and like all that stuff. Really cool place, man. I don't even think it's there anymore, but it was a really cool place.
Yep. I lived out there. That was where my first station was at Pope.
Why is it so crazy?
Yep. It's, hey, I don't know. Like, you know what happens? You have these military members that come out from all over the country, and they go to Bragg or they're at Pope or whatever.
Yeah.
And these guys link up with some of the local women out there or whatever, and then they leave. And so these ladies are left to raise these young men with no man in their life whatsoever.
Yeah, that's gonna be on one. That's gonna be on the beer conversation, ain't
it? Yeah.
Because I see this a deep dive.
I've seen it a lot.
Going with it though. We definitely got to have this conversation though. Like we got to do another one that's about that. Because man,
absolutely.
That's wild. Because my dad was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, down in Key West, I believe is where he was, and there was a lot of things that like came back with him that messed a lot of things up too. But you know, that's we'll talk about that then. But it's
absolutely.
It's crazy, man. Because now that you say that, yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. Dude, we were in Jacksonville at a show, and God, who were we with? I think it was just us. It was a bunch of people from Jacksonville and like the Fayetteville area, and they locked us in on purpose, which I was actually happy with when I found out what was going on. But it was an old movie theater, and they had like a club next door. It was 2 clubs, and we were doing one side, and they were doing the other side. Everybody emptied out, and we were the headliners, and we were like, all right, now I know they don't know us that well, but there shouldn't be 3 people in the club when there was 300.
Right.
And the door shut, and they were like, yo, don't leave. And at first, you know how we are. So we're like, what you mean don't leave? Hold up. And then like, so we formed like Voltron all of a sudden, like, hold on, what's going on? And I think Zelensky was with us, and I think Edom Mad Assassin and Ilpo were with us as well. So I mean, we had I think Metaphor might have even been with us. But so we were all like, what you mean don't leave? They said the Mexicans and the Marines are fighting outside.
Yeah.
They didn't mean 5. I thought they meant like 5. I looked outside, there's like 200 people brawling.
All together, brawling.
Yeah.
Like and the cops can't control
I'm not even trying to get to my car. Like I'm chilling. Like y'all they had fire trucks that had to come out. They didn't even get police officers out there. They got fire trucks out there. But it was wild because we're looking like, what are we, where are we at? Like, why is this happening? Dude,
No, that's like when J. Cole
different,
said
man.
that, he meant
It's different.
Right.
It
Right.
is different, man. Like I have been in some rough places, man, but Fayetteville, I'm not even gonna say Fayetteville is rough because it's a nice place, but it's got a different mindset.
it's got
Like,
areas in Fayetteville are, I wouldn't tell my worst enemy to raise their children there. Like,
yeah,
it's just it's hard. It's hard,
it's definitely one of those places where I stopped and asked a police officer for directions, which I'm not fond of, but I didn't know where I was. And he told me in no unspecific terms, you need to go right and stay that way. Do not do this, and you need to run. He told me to run the first two lights.
That's funny.
I think one of them was a stop sign and then a stoplight. But like, I was like, okay. And I didn't even think I was in a bad part at that point. Like, I was still on the main, I think I was still on Bragg Boulevard. But I may not have been. I know I was on a main road, but it may not have been Bragg Boulevard. But
because if you go down Bragg, it changes a couple of times.
okay.
So, yeah.
See, that might have been what he was saying then, but I know I was like, okay. And I know I had a little funky smell to me and everything. So I was just trying to get out of his direction. Like, yo, don't worry about what my car smell like. Let me just go. And he was the same way.
Yeah.
Hey, worry about what your car smell like. You need to go that way.
That's it.
So
Go that way,
it was
that guy.
wild. But
Question.
and the dude had a Jamaican accent, man. I was not expecting the police officer to give me directions in a Jamaican accent. Hey, you want to hear my Jamaican accent? Oh, all right. She said no.
Go ahead, Q.
How did you come up with the concept hip hop dads, where in the industry we have a lot of direction towards the young youth? Like, what made you come up with the term of hip hop dads?
I thought I was gonna have to retire, like at 30 and at 35 and at 40. I thought I was gonna have to retire a million times. But I had a song. I quit recording for about, I can't even remember the timeline now. I want to say for about 2 or 3 years. I don't know if that was after Gorilla Grind. I think it was before Gorilla Grind. I can't get my timeline straight, but I quit for about 3 years because I was raising my first little girl. And at that point, I was like, man, they don't care. Like, I've gotten old. I'll just rock these shows and do the songs I got, whatever. And then I dropped the song with Ritz off of Yellow Wolf, Slamerican, and Tech Nine Strange Music. It's called Bricks to the Beats. It's actually, we just released it on all the platforms for the first time this year. And between that and the remix, it's got 100,000 streams by itself. So that was doing very well. But that's also when I realized that there was a demographic, because people started asking me, well, where's the album? And I was like, I wasn't planning on dropping the album. It was just me and my homeboy. Like, I met Ritz. We were just going to drop the album. And they were like, nah, we need an album. So Gorilla Grind is a whole different thing, but Hip Hop Dads it all similar. But Hip Hop Dads came off of the Gorilla Grind concept. Basically, I realized that there was a demographic of adults, like grown-up people, that wanted to listen to hip hop, but not necessarily, how do I put it? They still want ignorant hip hop. they just want it more more grown up. They don't want to talk about the clubs and this and that. Like, you still get to be grown up and a little rambunctious at the same time, which is what they were wanting from us. And that's what I had to realize. So that's when I realized that I could be a hip hop dad, which is where it came from. Like, not only am I a hip hop artist and a very good one and a very well-known one, I am a very good dad, a very proud dad. So I wanted to put those together. And once I dropped those shirts, they sold like crazy. So I was like, oh, there's a whole other thing to this. And see, Gorilla Grind kind of happened the same way, because Gorilla Grind happened when JJ moved to California. He had to go right in the middle of us recording all of our stuff, because he had gotten a big deal and, all kind of stuff. So I had to record it literally guerrilla style, like finding studios, finding beats, finding whatever, so I could finish this thing by a deadline. So Gorilla Grind came out of the same mindset of me kind of being forced into the position. So I was forced into having to do everything guerrilla style and making it on my own. So that's what we did. And it's the same thing when I had kids right after that I was forced to be able to adapt to also being a dad and a hip hop artist. Dude, I just came from my oldest, doing a meet and greet for the Wizard of Oz. She's got more stuff than I got. And that's not just a kid's play. Like, she's at the Carolina Theater. She auditioned. She made it with a whole bunch of adults, with a whole bunch of, older teenagers, like everybody. It's a big actual play. So I had to stop doing shows, which I mean, I was probably going to stop doing them for a little while anyway, but I had to stop doing shows for a couple months to just get through hers. Man, she is at rehearsal 4 or 5 hours a day next week. It's crazy, man.
That's
but
amazing.
You got to be able to balance that with the hip hop stuff. So one of the things with that is that her staff that's helping her wanted the parents to volunteer to do something. Promotion was one of them. I was like, well, y'all about to start seeing me, and y'all gonna see it too. Y'all about to start seeing me promoting her shows just like I do mine. And it's a subtle thing. Like, you won't see me just out here blasting it, but I'm gonna be adding little tags and adding little things into these posts to where people can, go get tickets and stuff like that. So, but then again, I'm dropping my album December 11th. So it's right after that. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
look, I thought my little monster was coming in here, but she's still outside throwing the ball, man. That's the coolest dude in the room right there.
That's Mr. Ruben. Go outside. I'll talk to you.
But yeah,
I love your music, man. I just got to put on to you.
Yo, I really appreciate that, man.
And I'm like, you know what? I couldn't picture the face, but when I see it, I was like, wow, you really got a craft to your recording skills. A lot of people don't know how to record, and then they go in the booth and don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do ins and outs. They don't know how to punch in, punch out. I'm hearing that these guys got skills because, a lot of people don't know
Dude,
how to
I'm
do
Punch Master Flex, man. I can't do a one-take verse to save my life. We've been trying. I've probably done like 5 in my whole career. We should be able to just pull random people up, and I pull my engineer up and be like, Brian, how many times I done one take? He's gonna be like, where are you taking it? Because I ain't done no one take. And I try to tell people that all the time. I need my punches to sound like punches. So every 4 bars, now I don't punch in every 4 bars, but every 4 bars has got to sound like it's got to hit because it's a punchline. If I'm in there trying to do one takes, I'm gonna lose my breath. My emphasis is gonna be in the wrong place. I'm just gonna be trying to get through it. But also, not just with recording, you got to have engineers and producers that know how to form the beats around what you're doing. Or to not form the beats around what you're doing. Like, or if you get a original beat and you like it just like that, like, yo, leave that alone. Even if they want to change it, because producers like to change everything. You need like, yo, leave just like it is. And, and shout out to the producers I work with, man. Shout out to A. Star, shout out to Philly Fresh, JJ the Genius, shout out to Dub Killer, Vocal, man, Jeremy, all of them, man. But like these and those, I work pretty much exclusively with those guys. Like that's who I work with. And it's because they know how to craft the songs. Like on this new one I got with Poe, shout out to Pomac, matter of fact. Speaking of, Pomac has got me and him, that's who produced the entire EP that I'm getting ready to
do it right now.
And he is one of the biggest names in independent hip hop in Virginia. And he's the reason that I've got my name up there because he's the one who brings us up there all the time. But he has got he's known for boom bap. I'm not known for boom bap at all. So Case Jones was like, yo, why don't you do this boom bap album with Pomac? I've never thought about it. But if there's anybody I need to do an album that's boom bap with, it would be Pomac because like you said, he knows how to record. I've got a certain way to do it. I got a certain way to make songs. This boom bap album has bridges on it. It's got intros. It's got down pitches on it. It's got I recorded this album the way I record most of my trap music that I do. But I did it on different beats. So the whole mood's going to be different. But you're going to hear the songs arranged very similar to where to go from, a melodic hook to a down pitched bridge and then the verse. And then it's not going to be your 3/16 and your 8-bar verses that you usually hear. It's going to be actual songs that I put together because of the vibe I felt from the beat. And we even got some singers in here that are going to do some more Sublime style stuff. My man Nick Hoover, shout out to THC. They're actually out performing right now at a festival. I can't remember what it's called, or I'd plug it for you, but y'all go on my page and look at it, whatever. I don't know if this is coming out right now. But he made it, he sings more of a California reggae style, like Sublime. So I got him on something. Then I got my man, or not my man, I got my homegirl CJ Monet on it, who's got like a real soulful, almost like a Sade type of feel to it. So we went totally different directions with the album, but the things that you're talking about that I'm known for, we kept them in there. We just changed it to where it fit that. And that's what I've been trying to let everybody know for a long time, is that I don't hate boom bap at all. It just got very repetitive to me. And it's because, and it's not because it's bad, it's because I'm an old hip hop head. I have been listening to boom bap for 30, 40 years now.
Right.
So I'm saying I needed some change, man. But Pomac was the one who definitely could facilitate that. Like,
is he an engineer producer or producer engineer?
He's everything. He's a rapper, DJ, engineer, producer. That man does it all. Like Pomac he's got an album out right now with Cesar Comanche, or I don't know if I think it's coming out. He's got some singles out right now with Cesar Comanche that he produced. He put out part of there, but they also had producers like Crisis on there. I believe Ninth Wonder produced one on there. So he does it all, man. But he can also make his own stuff. I mean, he's dope, man.
That's what's up. You know, I gotta say this, you know, just piggybacking off of the hip hop dad shirt. Like, I remember seeing that and just being happy, like being a new father at that time myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because too often we don't give that shine to that part of our life. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of artists just don't. You know, they want to keep it separate or what have you, until you see them, like maybe one day you'll see them holding their kid or something like that. But you can't separate from you what is already a part of you, period. And it made me happy to see you embrace that. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. That means a lot, because that's why I do what I do, so other people can relate to it. And it's a callback to when we were talking about integrity. I'm not going to let society and the industry that doesn't even pay me tell me that I can't tell you that I'm married in a song, or I can't tell you about my kids in a song. No, my wife's hot. I'm about to talk about my wife. I don't care about all these other chicks. Like that, what you want me to say? Y'all mad is like, we ain't doing it. But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, 100%, brother.
If I got $1 million job, I'm still gonna clock out and write a song when I get home. It's in me. Like, I'm a musician. I had a friend this week asked me to help mentor him in music, and I had to explain to him that I couldn't, because I can give you advice, but I've got a gift to where, and it's lucky, I have a gift and I'm blessed to understand that I have it. I can zone out in a dark room to the point where I don't remember what I wrote the next day, and wake up and be like, yeah, okay, that went somewhere different. All right. And that's how I write my music. Like I zone out. I'll wait till everybody goes to sleep, put my headphones in a dark room with nothing. And that's how I make my music. And that's why I get so introspective on it. So for me to be able to, I can't mentor somebody on something that I don't necessarily have full recollection of, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, if I'm doing it and I'm just getting so deep into my own brain to where the words are just coming out. And I told him this part, the only thing I can tell you is to not stop writing, because I can take everything I don't like out. I can't put anything I don't remember back in. So just keep writing. Like, when you get into one of these zones where you're just writing and you don't even know what you're writing, if you're blessed enough or gifted enough as a writer to get to that point, because I'm not the only one. There's lots of people that can do this. And it's like a puzzle. Then you put it together. But to get all of that out, it's literally like my thoughts are just going onto the paper. I'm not having to speak. I'm not having to do anything. It's translating to the paper.
It's hard to build up energy.
Yeah. And it's hard to explain unless you've actually experienced that. It's sort of like an artist painting a picture that they don't really know what it's going to be, and then it turns out to be, phenomenal, because that's what came out of their soul. Like, but I told him, I said, man, I can give you any advice you want. Like, I can help with anything, but when it comes to the actual writing, I don't even know how I do it. I mean, I don't. Like, it's part of my brain.
It just comes to you.
Yeah, I
That's it.
don't have writer's block. Like I don't. I never have writer's block.
Nice.
You've seen me freestyle for 30 minutes straight.
Mhm.
I don't have writers like I get that other people get it and I empathize with it, but I don't get writer's block. My form of writer's block is writing songs that I don't like, and I keep writing them, and then I just throw them away and get to the next. So to me, it's like I think a lot of people, I think they consider that writer's block. That's not writer's block. That's cleansing your creativity. Like that's getting all the, like that's resetting. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost a hard reset of your brain while you're writing. Like you get the crap out and then you get back.
Get it out. It's like flushing the system. It's a colonic.
Yeah.
You can't
A lot of
teach.
people get frustrated and just quit on the song. You can't. You got to get that out. You ain't ever got to record it, but you got to get that out. Like it's in you.
Energy you got to release. Energy you got to
Yes.
release, and you can't teach that. You cannot teach that to someone who's just starting because
It doesn't
that
make sense to them, because if you're just a fan who wants to rap, you can still be a great rapper. And I encourage you to do that. But you can't expect somebody who is, I don't know, I don't want to brag on myself like that. So I mean, expect somebody who is like to that level to be able to teach you something that's unteachable. Like it's just not gonna work.
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It
That's
takes
And those
certain level.
same people probably have a gift that I will never be able to do. So I mean,
Right.
they probably have something that they can do without thinking that, you know, I can't do it all. So it's just something people got to find in themselves. It's hard, but you know, and I went through a lot of I guess trauma to get to that place.
Mhm.
So it's
Understood.
not something that was like that I knew I had, you know.
Right.
Word. All right, next question, boss. You are a steadfast pillar for the Pride community in Greensboro.
Absolutely.
You know, I wanted to ask, how deliberate is that? Are you aware of how the effect that you have on people through that?
Absolutely. I was the first straight artist or straight hip hop artist. I don't think they had any. They may have had like some R&B singers on that. Don't let me say that, but I was absolutely the very first straight hip hop artist on the Pride Festival, and I headlined for a reason. Me and a very good friend of mine named KT came up with this plan, and she was on the board, and she was like, "I want to bridge the gap. This is my first year on the board." I think it was her first, might have been second. I think it was the first year doing Pride, the second year on the board, if I'm not mistaken. But she took a very, very big leap into it. And she's a really close family friend of mine and has been for years and years and years. So when she came to me and she was like, "I want you to do it," I said, "You know, I'm not going to say no." She was like, "But you do hip hop. You don't think anybody will care?" I said, "I don't care." I said, "That's what it comes down to." And it calls back to the integrity thing again. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't do because that's what you expect me to do. Iconoclast.
Right.
We destroy your icons. That's what we break down pillars. That's what we do. So me, in the time it was, I believe this would have been 6 years ago. I think it was my first time, 5 or 6. There was something going on at the time. I can't remember what it was, but I was able to perform Insane and a couple of really other powerful songs in front of the police officers, in front of the protesters, in front of all these people that me as a straight white man is not supposed to be doing.
Right.
I don't care. I'm going to do it and I'm going to keep doing it. And not only did I do that, I brought my homies with me.
That's it.
We're all out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only did I bring my homies to perform, I brought my family out. I brought my friends to watch. We there, 100 deep at Pride.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And, you know,
it's people, you know what I mean? And
everybody,
yeah, they're there to have a party, to have fun.
It was one of the things where I was even questioning, like, do I say certain things? How do I, you know, just how to address certain things? Am I going to be looked at funny? And KT was like, "Don't even worry about that, man. We're here to party." So when my first time being there, I was just overanalyzing the situation, trying not to offend anybody. Then I realized they didn't care about none of that. They just want to be free and have a good time and just be able to be themselves. Whoever that may be, whatever that may be, like, dude, love is love, and that's what it comes down to. And it's gonna seem, here's what I always go back to. There's the new normal addresses it a lot. Like we address it on the new normal EP a lot. A lot of the people who don't like gay men are perfectly fine with gay women. That's yo,
That's true.
and that ain't in the Bible, buddy. That ain't in that Bible y'all been quoting. So, and another problem with that is, all right, so you got them, and then on the new normal, we also talked about how basically it might be weird to you. It might be off-putting to see somebody making out with the same sex or whatever. But you know what else is? And two 83-year-old people in the corner of the bar making out. That's weird too. So not weird too, because, you know, I don't consider being gay being weird. I do consider being 83 in the corner of a bar being weird, like whatever. So that's my whole thing, is like, y'all are more uncomfortable with the PDA and what y'all say is pushing it on people. Y'all push stuff on everybody every day, man. Like everything y'all doing. So like, I just don't even entertain those conversations with people, and I just keep on pushing. Like, what happens if one of these people's kids grow up and happens to be gay? What are they gonna do?
Right.
There's nothing really
You gonna shun your kids? Some of them probably will shun their kid. Or try to act like it's just a phase or whatever. Man, you look, man. It's the outlook on it in general, like, just to generalize the whole thing, is it's none of your business. Like, let the people be, like, let people be people. If they want to be a weird headbanger dude with green hair like Stitchy, you know I was gonna hit something with Stitchy in there. Or if they want to be a bald-headed white rapper like me, let them do it, man. Like, dude, it doesn't matter that much. Like, people are investing way too much energy into things that don't mean anything. Like, dude,
you cause more issues trying to fight that person for being who they are, rather than just leaving it to them. Hey, that's what you want. You know, that's it. You
and
know,
I get a lot of people to question me about things inside of the LGBT community, and I don't know. That's my whole point, is that y'all need to mind your business. I'll call KT and be like, KT, what's going on with this? I'll get the answer for you. But me, I don't know. I am a straight white bald-headed man. I don't know the answers to these things. If you were to ask me something about the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm calling you or Brian Staples. I'm not going to answer that without my proper research being done. Then I'm spreading the same crap. So when it comes to that, my whole point is that I don't have to know everything about it to support it. That's my thing. I support it because I've got loved ones, I got friends, I got homies, I got people I don't know that I wave to that are in the LGBT community, that are in the Black Lives Matter thing, that are in the Asian lives don't kill. You know what I'm talking about, all of it. I'm gonna get the names wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. I got friends in all of them because they're my friends, not because they're gay, not because they're Asian, not because they're black or white, because they're my homies.
That's it.
And it's that simple, but people don't want to make it that simple. They want to be political and religious and all this. But I can point out something in their political parties and religious books that all of them, I mean, it's pointless, man.
It's all ridiculous.
I give you a lot of respect though. He gets a lot of respect for, you know, thinking out the box and not limiting himself to one particular crowd. You know, some rappers don't have, they think they ruin their image by going that direction. And he's like, you know what? I'm here to make music. I'm here to entertain people.
Yeah.
None of my
I
business.
want my music to do is touch people, whether it's the party records, whether it's the deep records, whether it's the happy ones. I want my music to be relatable to everybody. When I sing Good Day, I want everybody to have a good day, not just one person, not just the people that look like me, everybody. Like, I didn't do that just for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way people's mindsets are is insane. Like, it makes no sense. Everybody's been trapped in the house. Everybody's been watching QAnon and all this other lizard people theories and crap like that, and they're stuck in it. And now because they have to be outside a little bit, it's gonna drag them outside with those theories. And they actually gonna have to say it in real life, and it's gonna sound it sounds crazier when they say it in real life. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. When they're saying it to somebody that doesn't think like that, is actually going to question it. And you're gonna be like, so when
What
you're
you mean
telling
they
me
smell like
this,
sulfur and they look like lizards? What?
yeah,
Where's that coming
you know,
from?
you actually believe that? Like, you know, it's,
There's plenty of good conspiracies out there that y'all can prove. Why y'all got to go to the lizard people?
right.
Y'all ain't got to do that one, man. Like that was wild. But
I have a question for you. How would you able to record with any big artists from your hometown of North Carolina, like Petey Pablo or Little Brother?
Petey Pablo, me and him have spoken a couple times, and we've tried to do things, but it just the timing is just never right. Sometimes the price ain't never right. Like they really want a lot of money, and I'm an ROI type of dude. Like if I can't make my money back off of it, it just ain't right. And if you wanting like Freak League money and you ain't put out Freak League in 20 years, you ain't getting Freak League money from me.
Right.
Like I said, I've booked him for shows and all kind of stuff. Very, very cool dude. We did almost work out a song where I was on a remix with somebody that he was also on the remix of. So we almost made that happen. I can't remember. I think he got arrested when that, I think something happened when he got that airport incident is when that went down. But with Little Brother, me and Little Brother kind of came up at the same time, but on opposite ends of North Carolina. So we just never really crossed paths that much. Me and Ninth Wonder, I've done some freestyles like live with Ninth Wonder. He's DJ'd a couple of my shows and things like that. I've brought his artist in town. But I'm trying to think, man. I don't think I've worked with too many of the quote unquote bigger names from North Carolina. And that's why people hate me when I say this. I don't care. That's why I say I'm not a huge unity dude when it comes to like, let's unify the hip hop community. Why? Y'all explain to me why. That's why, if it's a good reason, let's do it. But if it's not, then why? If I can go to these other states where there's actual bigger artists that support me and want to do music with me, and we can do real business and expand our fan bases, why should I come back here and listen to y'all complain?
Right.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? I'm providing a platform already. And now y'all are mad because I get the big shows. You mad because I get big names. It ain't because of the platform. I built that platform. It's because of me, point blank. And people hate when I say that. It's me. It's the work I put in. It's the grind that I do. It's the hustle I came up with. It's the platform I built. That's what got me where I'm at. It's 20 years of bangers. That's what it is. It ain't 6 months of you being mad at the next dude. So when it comes to unifying, I wish people would unify. But until y'all do it the right way, they can leave me out of it. I'm gonna do what I do with people from other states, with people from my state, with people from, you know, across the seas. Like I'm gonna do what I do with everybody. Because, and I'll put it in a different perspective for you. On Spotify, you can see where your top cities are. Greensboro ain't in my top 20. Now, that doesn't say anything about my fans, because my fans all have my albums, the physical albums. So they don't need to stream it. What that says is that 0 of the artists are streaming. You see what I'm saying?
That's it.
And 0 of their fans are streaming it. So when I've got New York, Chicago, LA, Denver, all these are in, oh, Charlotte's in there too. Charlotte and Raleigh are in there, which is funny to me. So you got Charlotte and Raleigh, but the rappers here.
And Greensboro's right there.
Yeah. So, but then you got like, I mean, like I said, most like my fans here have my physical albums. I sell 100 to 200 albums just around here all the time. So that's why, that's part of the reason. But if, in theory, all the people I collabed with should have streamed those songs, right? And their fans should have heard those songs.
Right.
So maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, I'm sure the comments will let me know. And I'm sure I'll get messages and everything else. But that to me, just like who's unifying where?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Y'all, the only thing they're unifying about is arguing with each other about who's bigger and who's got more SoundCloud plays and who's on the next show and who sold more tickets. Dog, we're in Greensboro doing shows that have 200, 300 people, which is amazing. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We ain't doing Coliseum shows. We ain't got platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
rock. And which is why I've started booking just the people I rock with. Because when I book the 10 or 15 artists that I rock with specifically, we have zero issues with that. Like, we come together, we rock, our fans rock with each other. We end up getting new fans. Those fans actually make friends outside of the music and start hanging out. Like, it's a community like it's supposed to be. If you can't make it a community, then why do I need to unify anything?
That's fair.
So, and like, my thing is, like, I've tried. Like, that's the thing. Y'all gotta remember, I've been here 2 decades doing this. I've tried 4 or 5 times. And after that 4th or 5th time, in the phases of artists retiring, retiring, here, where's that? Retiring.
I retired.
Yeah. There's just, dude, there's so many artists that only rap for 2 or 3 years that I just do not see a point in unifying until we get somewhere. If me and 5 other MC rappers are at the top, yeah, we need to talk and unify. Like, right there.
Right.
Like, as a power move or just as a business move to where we don't step on each other's toes. But nah, man, I mean, it's weird in North Carolina because it's probably like this everywhere, to be honest. So I bet, and other than places like Atlanta, because Atlanta is very supportive of their people, but if you move from outside, you're not gonna get that love. But that's a whole nother thing. That goes back to moving out of
conversation.
town.
Yeah.
But it's basically like, you're not gonna go to New York, somebody gonna pop off, and you're not gonna be able to work with Jay-Z.
No.
You're not gonna be a dude from Fayetteville and just automatically get to work with J. Cole. You can't just be from Raleigh and work with Lil Brother. You can't be from Miami and work with Cali. Like, it just doesn't happen until you get up there. So what the unifying conversation usually comes to, and working with other people in the States, is basically they're saying they want to ride your wave. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. They're like, hey, we saw you make it, so why don't you unify with us so we can make it? How about you make it on your own and we can unify at the top? There you go. That's what we need to do. But yeah, I always get in trouble with these conversations, so I'll be expecting some emails. But it'll be all right. I get it all the time, man, and I hold my ground. They don't never like it, though.
Hey, we got to ask the tough ones sometimes, and I don't mind. All I care about is getting the real answer. That's it.
You know, I'm going to give it to you. So I got to get off here in about 5-10 minutes, man. I didn't realize what time it was. Y'all don't have to talk.
Well, listen, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we can roll. But we'll have to, finish this up because we do have.
Oh, we can, man. Look, I told you, I'm down for this. These are good conversations. I'm always down.
Word.
We'll make it work.
Absolutely.
We'll do a part 2 of this, and then we'll do a part 3 with all the other questions we were talking about.
There you go. There you go. My man.
Make it a segment.
All right. So what I'll ask you then is just a question about Greensboro and Joe, so being as we're both from Greensboro, we both grew up out there. We know Greensboro it's far from a small town. Yeah. But it's still not recognized for its place in history, just like, everything that took place there. There's a lot of civil rights acts were happening out there. All of the colleges that are out there, the ACC tournament is still held out there.
You're about to lose that because they messing something up again. But
of course, but bottom line, Greensboro has its foot in American history and culture. And what I wanted to ask you specifically is, what does our city, what does that city mean to you? When you think of Greensboro, what does it mean to you?
I got it tattooed on my arm for the whole explanation. If I ain't had a hoodie on, I'll show you. But it's literally my roots. Like it's the city and just a piece of land and the roots hanging off of it. Because when we were coming back from all these tours I was talking about, that's the first thing we'd see was the JP building and the skyline coming over the highway. So when I think about it, I've been mentioned in articles with great musicians, such like I'm talking like legends, man. Like, I mean, not just hip hop that have been from here. So it's like P.D. Pablo, like God, what's the dude's name? And there's a singer that's really famous from here, and I can't remember who it is off the top because, of course, I got to talk about it, so I forgot it. But extremely famous guys. I can't think of his name right now. But either way, it's got a very deep history in everything. Like even the Flatiron, where we were doing shows recently, they have been closed for about 10 to 12 years, but before that, they had 30 years of just crazy music history in there. Somewhere Else Tavern brought people like Bret Michaels through before he was big. I mean, they've been out, God, forever, dude. Blind Tiger. I got my uncles and my sister and all kind of people used to go to Blind Tiger here before I was even born. So all of these music places have been here, and they got people coming through constantly. And it's just, I really wish we got the respect that we deserve for that. And like history in general, the music history, the civil rights history, the colleges that we have here, and like all the people that have come from those colleges and been educated there and gone on to do everything else. We got astronauts. Like, dude, I met Buzz Aldrin when I was bartending. You know what I'm saying? Like it's at the Dean of Elon's house. So it's just random, like weird stuff that happens. And it's because people just cross through and they see the history, but they don't really know what it is because we're always here. So, you know, that's what it is. But the way I see it, I think we are as historical of a town in a lot of different areas as some of the bigger, more famous towns.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's lots of stuff you can get into it with, man. It's crazy.
Yes, sir. I mean, I didn't live I've been around the world, and I have been to many cities that have like 11 or 12 different high schools in the same area, you know what I mean? And you know, that have impacted history the way this city does. It's weird to see that a lot of people still don't notice it. They mentioned Greensboro on the Saints of New York. They mentioned Greensboro. At the Saints of Newark. I'm sorry. You know,
I had people like inboxing me that. Oh, I will tell you a funny story though. My wife is not convinced that it was about me, but I don't care. There was a cartoon that came out about Greensboro and High Point, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was made by the same people as King of the Hill. Bless the Hearts, I think it's called. Bless the Hearts. They did an episode about a dude throwing an open mic, and his name was Eddie Toilet. And it was from Greensboro. I was like, yo, this is amazing. And then the other dude's name was like Mr. Something. And it reminded me of me and Mr. Rozzy because we're all on the shows together all the time. So it was like Eddie Toilet and Mr. Infinite or something like, I can't remember what it was, but I was dying. I was like, if they show this dude and he's bald, it's me, but he wasn't bald. But so she didn't think it was me. But I'm like, there ain't another rapper in Greensboro. His name Eddie anything. And so Eddie Toilet's pretty funny though. Like that's legit.
That's hilarious. I'm glad you could laugh at it. You know, for a second there, I was like, should I laugh at this? You know,
I died. I tried to find it so I could sample it, and then she kept convincing me it wasn't me.
That's funny.
But I think it is, and I thought it was hilarious. Now I just want to find the writers and be like, yo, can I at least make a guest appearance? Yes. I'll be Eddie Toilet. Just like I'm telling you, man.
Well, listen.
Hey, we got time for another one. What's the next one? What we got?
All right. Real quick then. Did you catch the last verses with Big Daddy Kane and
most of it.
KRS?
I didn't see the whole thing, but I caught most of it. And dude, two of the most respected. First of all, Big Daddy Kane lived down the road about hour and a half, and
Amazing drum.
Vanessa Ferguson gets to perform with him all the time, dude. I'm jealous.
Wow.
So Mr. Rosley's there on stage. I'm just mad, like, man, come on. But and you know, KRS-One is my first big concert. So that was my first, that was my first big one, and I want to say 2006 or 2007 at Ziggy's. And I actually ended up on allhiphop.com because of that. Because they were like, they said something, and it was hilarious because I think one of my friends sent the picture to him, but they were like, where has the professor been? And he was like, Eddie Ruger knows. And nobody knew who I was. So I was like, yes, this is great. But at the time, like 0 people knew who I was. So I was like, well, they do now. So let's run with it.
Exactly.
So, and like, that was funny because years later, a friend of mine, an artist I worked with, G Santana, got an opportunity to freestyle with him outside of A&T, I believe. I think it was Homecoming. And he thought KRS-One was joking, but he was like, dude, come down to Orlando. I got something for you. You can meet us there. You can do a show there, blah, blah, blah. And he was working at a fast food place at the time. And he was like, dude, what should I do? I said, quit.
Yeah.
Go. Like,
Go.
It's not like, I'm not telling you don't have, you can come back and work at the one across the street. Like, it's not like you leaving a great job. Dude went down there and did not come back until he was off of a world tour with KRS-One. Wow. And he is a dope artist. His name's G Santana. He's a dope artist, man. But okay. So that, I'm trying to think, he did I think he did a show with him last couple of weeks too, or last couple of months. But there is a big, big difference in being how do I put this? A battle performer and a big arena performer. Because Big Daddy Kane can rock a crowd no matter where he's at. And it's just, that's gonna happen. He is the master at that. But KRS-One has very simple tools to diffuse that. And it's because he comes from a battle, like it's a competitive nature and more of a battle rapper. So he's got, it's just simple things that you know how to, like, all right, cool, you did that. That was great. I can do that too. And this. Right. You see what I'm saying? So you don't even have, like, once you say you can do it and you don't even do it, you just switch to something he can't do. Like when he starts doing double time for no reason at all, you're showing off at that point.
Yeah.
And so he took it. And I'm not even gonna say he took it on a song-to-song basis. I'm just saying in general, overall, he came out feeling like the winner.
That's it. I mean, he's a legend, you know, and it was beautiful to see. You know,
that's what the people in Brooklyn were saying too. That KRS took the show too. Like I'm from Brooklyn, so
I could argue show to show. I mean, song to song. I could definitely argue song to song for either one of them. It just depends on which vibe you want to go with. But as a performer and as that night, yeah, he won that, man.
That's it. What do you think about the Yo Gotti and T.I. joint? Do you think that's going to be good, or what do you think about that?
I'm not that interested in that matchup, man. Like, it's two different generations. They're gonna have good music because both of them are extremely good. Like, I mean, dude, Gotti had one of the albums of the year last year, and T.I.'s had album of the year a million times. So I mean, they're gonna see, that's another thing, man. Are they gonna like limit T.I. to like a certain number of years?
I asked you that, like, with that in mind, just because of where they're both at. You know, I mean, T.I.'s been doing this for 25 years.
Oh, he's about to drop songs with Rihanna, and Yo Gotti has zero to match that.
Right, nothing.
So if he does trap music T.I. versus Yo Gotti, then that'll be good. If it's like Atlanta Street T.I. versus Memphis Street Gotti, then yeah, that'll be good. But I don't see him having things like, what's the other ones he's done? He's done some that ain't with Rihanna that are like big things popping. What's he gonna do? Like, these songs are huge. These, like, Yo Gotti,
he has a lot of records.
Yeah,
he has a lot of records.
So I don't know, like Rubber Band Man, he might be able to play. Like Rubber Band Man, he might be able to play the new joint. I ain't got time today. Like, he might be able to rock with that. Like, that might be close, but that's his biggest hit. does he have any? I might be completely wrong, but does Yo Gotti have any? No, hold on, that ain't even Yo Gotti. That's Moneybagg Yo.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Moneybagg. Yeah.
Nah, I don't think he's got a chance.
I don't think so. I think they just
And I like Yo Gotti,
grab
but I don't
someone.
think he's got a chance.
Yeah. But listen, man, we all gotta go at this point. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hey, listen.
You saw my wife coming here and everything.
From the bottom of my heart, Eddie, I gotta say thank you. You know what I mean?
Man, I love y'all, man. It ain't nothing, man. Like it's nothing. And like for real, man, I want to do a part 2. Y'all just let me know when. We'll come back on here and we'll rock, man.
Absolutely.
And we gotta have that third conversation too. We're gonna have a whole nother conversation. Ain't gonna have nothing to do with music on that one.
Yeah, we gonna.
But
absolutely, I'll probably
thank y'all for having me, man. And whenever y'all want, like whenever y'all drop this, let me know. I'll push it. I'll put it on the channel. I'll do whatever y'all need me to do with it, man.
I appreciate for your time. I appreciate for your time being here. It was an honor to really interview you and give us the opportunity. Thank you.
Man, dude, thank y'all for the opportunity, man. Because that's another thing people don't seem to realize is that you guys are giving us just as much as an opportunity as we're helping you guys out. You know what I'm saying? Because these people wouldn't know any of these questions about me if y'all ain't asking. So, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't get these answers. Like you literally have to listen to 17 albums of my music to get some of those answers. Like, right. I mean, like not even joking. Like you would have to start at the beginning and go to the end and be like, oh, he did do this.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I literally don't talk much about, my past things and shenanigans unless it's on my music. I really don't because it's the past.
That's smart.
So, I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, they ask me questions like, you got to go listen to the music. I ain't going to get into all that. If you want the answer, go listen.
That's
so,
it.
Well,
all right, boss. You take care of yourself. Thanks again. This is Arroz and Oxtails, everybody. One love.
Love y'all, man. Be good.